Hi. Recently, I was on a cross-country trip and I was watching an episode of the National Kids Baking Championship. I got hooked. It's about kids ages 10 to 12 that can bake. Not the typical cake mix out of the box kind of baking, but the kind of baking that you don't even use a recipe for. Challenges are given to the contestants, and this particular episode, the challenge was dessert imposters. The kids had to make desserts that resembled actual foods like tacos, pizza, spaghetti, and meatballs. Each kid had a different dish. At times, it seemed that the kids weren't going to pull it off. There were so many mishaps, but that didn't stop them. Each of these kids had something besides brains and talent. They had grit. Grit is a powerful perseverance to achieve a goal. It can be associated with resilience, ambition, or determination. But how did they develop grit at such a young age? Parents tend to overprotect their kids in today's society. We have what's known as helicopter parenting. So why is grit so important? A child that develops grit will be able to accept the challenges that life throws at them, not being picked for the team, a breakup with a boyfriend or girlfriend, challenging classes in high school or college, living away from home. They'll be a valuable employee in the workforce because they know how to take responsibility for themselves, and the same is true in marriage. They will be a better partner. When a child has developed grit, they're well equipped for life's challenges. Dr. Carol S. Dweck has taken the concept of grit further in a book called Mindset. Dr. Dweck describes two types of mindset, a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. A fixed mindset doesn't accept challenges, they do not take responsibility for themselves, and they cast blame on others for their failures. Whereas a growth mindset accepts challenges and isn't afraid of failures. In the book, Dr. Dweck states that people with a growth mindset can convert life's setbacks into future successes. Isn't that something that you want for your own children? By making simple changes in parenting, you can help your children develop a grit or a growth mindset. First, I'm going to help you visualize the difference in the two mindsets. John McEnroe was a famous tennis player. He's a great example of a fixed mindset. He would blame everyone and everything for his setbacks. If he didn't win a tennis match, he would say it was because it was too hot or too cold. He would yell at the refs if he thought he was being cheated. He would throw his racket and carry on like a baby. He did not accept responsibility for himself. He thought he could win a match on sheer talent alone. Whereas a great example of a growth mindset would be Jim Marshall. He was a defense player for the Minnesota Vikings. He did the unthinkable in a game. They were playing against the San Francisco 49ers. He saw the football in the field. He picked it up and he ran for a touchdown. The problem was he scored the touchdown for the 49ers. At halftime, instead of being miserable and feeling sorry for himself, he decided he was going to get back into the game and play some of his best football. And he did help his team achieve victory over the 49ers in that game. As a parent, there's plenty that you can do to help your child develop a growth mindset. Angela Duckworth is a psychologist at the University of Pennsylvania, and she's a noted expert in grit. And she says that bouncing back from failure turns out to be one of the best lessons a child can learn. She states the idea that your child has to get straight A's and excel at everything is misguided. If you or your child have not learned or never had a chance to triumph over something difficult, he or she may never have the confidence to face a challenge. So here are some ways that you can help your child develop a growth mindset. She says that you can give your child an opportunity to pursue one difficult thing. She says it has to be something that requires discipline to practice, something they have to work hard at, and it should be something that they love and have a passion for. Another aspect in helping them develop growth mindset would to teach them to be genuinely happy for the success of others and their friends. And she also states that when we praise or criticize a child's performance, we are enforcing a fixed mindset. So we naturally say when a child gets a good grade on a test, we say, oh, you're so smart. Instead, we should be saying things that praise their achievement. We should be saying your effort paid off. You tried really hard on that. I could tell you studied hard. The kids in that baking championship all wanted to be winners, despite the fact that they knew that in the end there was only going to be one winner. They were genuinely happy for each other. They encouraged each other, and they helped out if they were finished before their time was up. They weren't afraid of burnt cookies. They were able to think through what went wrong and make it better. In short, they took responsibility for themselves. To help the children in your life develop a growth mindset, please remember that it's okay if they have bad days. It's okay if they aren't popular. It's okay if they aren't picked for the school play. But encourage them for their effort. Remember, if they never triumph over a difficult thing, they will never have the confidence to accept a challenge and all the challenges that life has to throw at them. Lastly, I will conclude with some words from J.K. Rowling, who is the author and creator of Harry Potter. In her life, she suffered a series of setbacks and failures. She states that because of her failures, she was fearless in pursuing the one thing she truly had passion for, and that was writing. In 2008, Rawlings gave the commencement speech at Harvard University. She entitled it, "The Fringe Benefit of Failure." She acknowledged that she was speaking to an audience of successful and intelligent people, most of whom were not very well acquainted with failure. She said this to them: "You might never fail on the scale that I did, but some failure in life is inevitable. It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well have not lived at all, in which case you fail by default." Thank you.